With that explanation, welcome back. FNUSA57 here, since I am going to be giving this game a second try. This is the Strategic Minds' newest game, Fight for Dominance. I did receive a review copy of it, and we're just going to go ahead and get straight into it. If you caught the stream or the video from yesterday, you'll notice that I failed. I failed epically in getting this done. We actually failed the campaign completely. So, I need to go ahead and lower the volume on the game. Just, a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and change up a couple of the settings and see if we can make this easier, because for anybody who caught the first stream, basically my first impressions of the game, well, I didn't feel like I gave the game an accurate enough try. And you guys know how I really like to thoroughly test something before establishing my end opinion. Plus, I simply don't like to give up or be defeated, for that matter. I'm a little too competitive on that. With that being said, basically the only word I could use to describe the game was just confusion. So we're going to play around with the settings. We're going to give this a second try and see if it's possible to at least get a foothold in the game. I am playing on the Xbox Series X console, and I am playing with controller. So definitely the game feels like something that should be played mouse and keyboard, hands down. But we're going to see if we can make it a little bit easier. With that being said, I am a fan of RTS games. I have played a number of them. This is my first Strategic Minds game, so shout out to the dev team and thank you very much for the review copy. With that being said, that will not affect my end opinion of the game. So, obviously, we turned down the overall volume just a little bit. It seems a little loud for me. Stream, chat, let me know if the game's a little loud for you or not. I don't see any co-op option to this game. It would be nice if there was, but most RTS games don't feature a co-op mode. First thing that I did was I changed the key scroll. I don't know if this is going to help, but one of the problems was with the camera bouncing between different elements of the UI. So hopefully that scroll speed change will make it a little bit better. Everything else is going to be left pretty much on default, except for zoom in on attack or movement. In order to actually try to make the game go by a little bit quicker and eliminate that whole change to the field of view, since this game does use both the right and left sticks to control unit placement, it doesn't feel very smooth. Definitely feels like something that was meant for mouse and keyboard. With that being said, we're going to disable the feature that I like, and we're only going to leave the zoom in mechanics when triggered and see if that works, because honestly it's a pretty cool feature. Interactive hints I'm going to leave, autosave I'm going to leave, and we're going to go ahead and get started. It's going to be the same campaign, which again I just hit the wrong freaking button on. There is no confirmation on this game, which is a little bit on the frustrating side. So, like, if you hit the wrong button, it can be difficult to get back to the menu, and I find it faster to just restart the game. So we're going to go with the German campaign, and I wish I could stop the, narration of this, because I've already heard it, but hopefully it's not too loud. So this is pretty much the biggest point that I could possibly offer, like, a hint, because I screwed up on it, to be honest, yesterday. So with most games that have this free-floating cursor controlled by the left stick, kind of imitating a mouse cursor, you can simply highlight what you want, and then it's usually the A button on most games. You click A to select it. And I was kind of curious about this over here and how I could possibly change these settings. The reason why I wondered about that is due to the fact that most of these things are pretty darn simple achievements. Complete all secondary objectives, earn enough points, all secondary objectives, earn enough points, etc., etc., etc. All relatively straightforward achievements, except a number of them, more specifically in the German campaign, feature 0.00% unlock rates. So I don't know if people simply haven't made it that far yet to unlock it, or if it is truly that difficult, or if it is simply glitched. But with that being said, I'm going to show you how to actually change the difficulty. So, in order to change the difficulty, we are not going to select the difficulty as you would think with the cursor. I'm going to go ahead and leave the cursor over here, and what we'll be doing is we'll be using the D-pad on the controller. Since the game does not tell you this, even under controller settings, it's something that I kind of had to figure out by trial and error. By simply pressing either up or down on the D-pad, we can actually select the difficulty. And we should never touch the A button until we're actually happy with our settings. So if you go up and down on the settings, you can kind of notice the numbers change. From storytelling difficulty, the reasonable, challenging, insurmountable, and custom. And you'll notice that if we don't have anything selected, the default difficulty that the game is going to put it on is going to be about reasonable, roughly. For some folks, it might default to challenging. I'm not entirely sure why it does that. It's honestly kind of annoying, but hey, it is what it is. If you want to select the lowest difficulty, you can simply go down to storytelling, which is going to give you an approximate enemy strength of 40%. You'll get a little bit more prestige for your victory bonus, and unit reinforcement cost is 20%. Reasonable enemy strength increases to 80. I don't really know how big of a jump that is, but that is pretty much doubling enemy strength. So yeah. Yesterday, we were playing either unreasonable or challenging. I want to say it actually defaulted to challenging for me, because I was trying to change the stats and failed. So, enemy strength at 100%, prestige for victory drops down, insurmountable drops it even further. So, your enemy strength becomes 120%, making them even more difficult. If we go down to custom, custom will always be the last setting that you selected. So what you want to do here is actually go down to custom and then hit down on the D-pad one more time, which switches it from custom over to the actual classification, these three choices: unit reinforcement cost, prestige for victory, and enemy strength. Now, if my theory is correct, what we're going to want to do here to make this as easy as possible is to still continue using the D-pad and simply click left to lower the enemy strength to its lowest value of 20%, click right on the D-pad to increase the prestige for victory. So in theory, we'll gain more prestige. Hopefully that works out. And unit reinforcement cost, we can either increase it, which I think would be a terrible idea, or we can decrease it. And I'm kind of curious to see what a 0% unit reinforcement cost is. Will this actually give us free units? If so, it just made the game ridiculously easier. Once we've done that, though, if you hit accidentally down on the D-pad one more time, you'll end up resetting all of those stats because of the fact that it's not on custom. So, what we have to do is select the settings that we want, and then we're going to go up and go to custom. It's very important that you go and click the D-pad up once from setting enemy strength to go to custom to actually check the box on custom difficulty, allowing you to then press the A button, and you will now in fact be starting a campaign on your custom difficulty settings. I know that was a lot and a very long explanation, but hopefully it will be worth it in the long run. So pretty much right here It's fairly straightforward. I already know what the secondary objectives are, which means it's going to be a lot easier to execute. And if we can pull reserve units now, then it will be phenomenally easier. But I don't know how well that's going to actually work out. So I'm going to need the Panzer V, or the Panzer 4A, I should say. This is going to be a secondary objective one, as well as one of the planes is going to be a secondary objective. So we're going to have a little bit of work ahead of us. But personally, I like to use... I like howitzers. I mean, that's just me. Now, you can get, like, doing the suppressive fire. You can also get the howitzer with the ability to fire point blank. These are just different skills. You can also, have normal provides fire support versus ground units to all allied forces within gun range once per turn. And obviously the howitzer can fire over, obstacles for the most part. So yeah, pretty cool. And I have 325 prestige, so we should be able to acquire it. As you see, we just acquired that howitzer. It's not letting me acquire a second howitzer, so I might be capped on that for the moment. It's actually not letting me acquire any other units, but the second howitzer will be fine for me for now. And we'll go ahead and get started. So knowing the battlefield is going to be a big thing for me. I do want to know where my second howitzer is. That is one thing that I have struggled with. Because, like, I have this unit here.
Your forces are comprised
of
both core and
where
non-core
actually
units.
is it?
For unit strength
Is the
indicator
question?
is green and round-shaped. And for non-core units, it is yellow and hexagon-shaped. Non-core units are allocated for one mission only.
And as you can
core
see,
units will accompany you throughout the
we
campaign.
can't do anything with
You'll
it.
be able to level them up and provide them with new equipment. These units are the ones which should be under your primary protection.
Which is so weird. It's like, how do I get this unit out? Like, I want the unit to go to the field. But for some reason, that is the one thing that I have not figured out exactly how to do, is to go ahead and get the unit into the field. Which is super weird.
Ammunition and fuel icons next to unit strength will allow you to quickly
Okay, I was finally able to place it.
If the unit is still able to move during the current turn, the canister icon will be green. If it can no longer move, the icon will be
I'll
gray.
place it in
Likewise,
the city
the
for now.
ammunition icon shows whether the unit is attacked this turn. If the unit is low on ammunition or fuel, the corresponding icon is yellow. It becomes red once the unit has run out of it completely.
Alright, we can't embark anywhere. You have to watch out. This scroll speed, when you go to the top or bottom or anything like that, the edges, whoo-wee, it is a nightmare. So we just brought out the acquired unit now. We had to actually double tap A to confirm it. And the scroll speed is still something a bit too much.
Artillery is the basis of the firepower of your forces. It can weaken enemy fortifications to allow your troops to attack without heavy losses. It is also good for defense, as it provides fire support
now,
to
the thing
ground
is,
units
you have
within
to
its
select a
range.
unit with
Opportunity
A
strength
and then
is its
actually
long firing range,
confirm
which allows
its
you to
move
destroy
with
the enemy
Y
troops from
for anyone
afar.
playing on a
Remember,
controller.
though,
And fear not, I will
vulnerable
be
to
playing
aircraft
other
attack
games
in close
today.
combat,
Fear to
so it
Beard,
needs
what's
to be
up?
protected.
Welcome back. We'll see if I can complete this. Then disengage it. And we're going to actually move up our... We're moving up
These are
all
ideal
of our
for rapid
vehicles
offensive
here.
and open terrain. However, they are vulnerable in close quarters to the infantry units in difficult terrain, such as cities, mountains, forests, swamps, shallows, and well-entrenched infantry units.
And we don't want to get on this specific map. We don't want to get within that one tile. Infantry obviously can't move out that far. So we got to make sure that we stay out of that hexagon range.
Time to move on.
Your unit has been withdrawn from a supply zone. The delivery of supplies to the unit has been stopped.
All right, so
The
we're
supply
good
zone is
now.
marked with a white box
That's about
symbol
all I
in the
can
upper corner
do,
of each.
and we'll have to go ahead and end the turn. I can't move the howitzer because I just deployed it, so... Alright. Now I should be able to move the howitzer.
We are the guns of the
Yeah,
right.
I can. I thought I would be able to. So basically we have to go down this way to the right and go for that positioning, which is gonna be a little bit tricky, but we'll get another howitzer. So I'm actually gonna move this howitzer first.
We're going. We're going.
Now that howitzer, it's gonna take a turn for it to be set up, so this is gonna take a little bit longer. It's the thing about RTS games that not, everybody likes. They are a little bit slow. With this vehicle,
Can you see anything?
the basic thing is it's a scout. So we actually need
With
this.
speed and precision.
Position that there. As you can see, we can't get our troop info because I used the wrong
Reconnaissance is
vehicle.
extremely important in an offensive, since it provides you with full intelligence information.
We have to
regarding
use one of the
presence
armored
enemy
cars
forces,
that has the
thus making
scout
your attack more
ability.
effective. A reconnaissance unit can move several times per
I don't know
turn,
why,
as long as
but
it has move points left.
For some reason,
As the
tanks can't
reconnaissance unit
scout.
notices the enemy,
You'll notice
it
that we only
automatically
have
stops,
a
and
couple
they
of
can move in.
infantry that we're up
If the enemy
against.
surrenders to your reconnaissance unit,
So
it gains full
we
information
can use
about all
the
enemy units
105
nearby.
millimeter howitzers to go ahead and bombard the city. Which, again, select the howitzer, confirm the attack command with Y.
Fireworks.
That should have been pretty devastatingly effective. The howitzers can only fire once per turn, though, which is kind of weird. We can select this and see that it doesn't really look like there's any squads remaining.
Infantry is good for assaulting the enemy
So let's go ahead
positions after the artillery
and
air
get
bombardment.
the
It is
infantry
also the
to
best unit for storming
capture.
cities, mountains,
All
forests,
right, all
and
right,
well-entrenched
that worked.
positions. A well-entrenched infantry is a tough target for the enemy assault.
Give us the coordinates and watch the fireworks.
Now, because of the way that this falls, and I have to go this way, and I have to go that way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the howitzer into the forest. It's not necessarily the best plan, but it's going to give me the best attack range.
Affirmative.
So we'll get the howitzer to move. We've got the army stationed there.
Our tanks
I
are not
can't
heavy,
move the
but
tank
fast.
that much, but what I can do is move the scouting vehicle already this turn.
Halt. Enemy up ahead.
And that's about as far as we can get the scouting armored car. It's not enough to reveal the info, but I do know that pretty soon we're going to be facing an artillery piece. So it would be nice if the game lets me acquire another unit. It does not look like it will let me acquire any more units, unfortunately. Oh, wait, no. Weird. It would not let me acquire a tank, an AA gun, another howitzer. But it will, in fact... Okay. We might be able to bring in an anti-tank gun. Which armored car has a better setup? This one has a little bit better setup, so we're gonna acquire that one. Now, why it took prestige, I honestly don't know.
Reconnaissance company reporting.
And then let's see where it lets us actually place this second recon unit. Nice. All right. Can I move it out yet? No, I cannot. That might be all I can do
Can you see
for
anything?
this turn. Basically, I'm splitting my forces. The problem is you have a limited number of turns to do everything. So, my artillery is not within range yet. But that's alright. Can we fire on anything? No, we cannot. I'm pretty sure there is a anti-tank gun. So let's take the recon. And if I remember correctly, we can take the rail yard.
Target is ours.
Alright, perfect, since we have the low profile. I'm right next to it, but we still don't know what they have. So we're just going to open up with the artillery again.
All right, boys, blast them!
I wish the artillery could fire 2 rounds a turn, but it can't. It can only fire 1 round per turn. And we'll get our second artillery unit in place. But because it has to be set up, I can't fire till the next turn. And let me move
If anyone asks, this
the
unit does
scout
not
vehicle, because it can move multiple times. So we still have a question mark on that.
We'll
go ahead and bring the tank in.
Speed is our forte.
No idea what the defenders are in that city,
We prevail.
but whatever the defenders were in that city, they are no more.
This unit has heavy equipment. Units with heavy equipment cannot move if they do not have ground transport.
And we'll use our
Additionally,
infantry
they cannot board
to
air
go ahead
transport
and
cannot
capture that.
disembark from naval transport at a seaport.
We have taken Tarragona, Field Marshal Goering.
Alright, I did survive the
Good,
ambush.
good.
It's a little
Republican
risky to
government
bring
must be
transported
panicking,
units
and
in, by the way,
rightly
guys,
so.
because they are
I am
easy
sending
to
you
be
our newest
ambushed,
Panzer IV tank to
and
assist
it
in
is
the assault
possible
on
to
Barcelona.
lose them,
Make
so
sure they
it's
see enough
not
action that this counts as a
really
conclusive field
ideal,
test. I will expect your report after
if
the
that
battle.
makes sense. And I knew there was a field gun somewhere, but I didn't know where the field gun was. So basically, when you
In this
capture
area
that
we
city,
trust.
you are going to gain a couple of Panzer IVs, which are pretty insanely lethal tanks, and this is a secondary objective where you must use the new tanks in combat to destroy 3 enemy units. And doing these secondary objectives is what really starts to cost the turn count a lot. So we're going to order our
With divine
tank to
assistance.
attack.
Continue the engagement.
And yeah, that tank just, you know, completely annihilated it.
Can you see anything?
I don't have any other units that can move this
Recon company
turn
standing by.
to capture that city, but that's all right. That's all right. There's going to be an artillery piece in this upcoming city, so we're going to have a little bit of a hard time getting to that.
Recon company
But I have another recon unit, and what I kind of wanted to do was start to recon this town and airfield over here. I don't think there's a howitzer there,
Halt. Enemy up ahead.
but we should be careful. Alright, so there is an enemy unit emplacement there.
What is it?
I wish I could recruit another howitzer. See if I can get another howitzer now. No. I don't have enough prestige despite the unit recruitment prestige cost being 0%. We don't have enough prestige to do it, which is unfortunate. So this is going to be about all we can
Panzers are the cutting edge
do
of
for
Wehrmacht.
this turn. Because there is an anti-tank gun and artillery gun here.
We will rule the day.
But what I can do is I can take the Panzer IV out. It hasn't detected an enemy is the problem.
We will lead the way.
We will rule the day.
I would start pushing the Panzer south. Let's just do it. Let's take the town, man.
We take what is ours.
Be careful when you send your tanks into city, mountain, and forest terrain. If they run into enemy infantry, any skirmish will likely result in heavy losses due to close quarters.
Yeah, we know. Alright, that's about all the turns that we can do there. Simply because we just don't have the prestige to summon more units. And we're going to have to end up splitting our forces. There's just no way around it.
You have selected an entrenched unit. When a
So
target
here we
unit
have our
finishes its turn
howitzers.
while still being able to move, it gains one level of
And we're going to
entrenchment. The unit
need
can have up to 6
the
levels
howitzers.
of entrenchment. Each level of entrenchment increases all defenses by 1. The unit loses all levels of entrenchment when it moves. Naval and aircraft units cannot gain entrenchment. Each attack against an entrenched unit reduces the entrenchment level by 1.
Affirmative.
Any sensitive assignments for us?
We need the scouting.
Our tanks are not heavy, but fast.
So we're just going to engage, making sure that what we have selected is a Panzer IV tank. We're going to engage
Beware the
without
fire support of
scouting.
the enemy artillery if you attack enemy troops with an artillery unit nearby.
We shape their destiny.
Like I said, I knew there was an artillery unit somewhere, so you do have to watch out for the artillery units firing. It is definitely a problem, to say the least.
Panzers are the cutting edge of Wehrmacht.
Now this is our Panzer III, so that's not very important for us. We need to defeat one more enemy unit
Armored
with the
troops at your
Panzer
disposal.
IV. If I remember correctly, where's the captured town gonna be at? I want to say it's gonna be these two towns right here, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to go preemptively try to take this town with our Panzer and see if this
We'll get
works.
there in no time.
It's a risky gamble because I don't know what enemy
Beware of
forces are
ambushes.
there.
Getting into an ambush delays the offensive and burdens your units with unnecessary losses. To avoid being ambushed, you should first use reconnaissance to scout the
Alright,
route you're
so
going
an
to follow
ambush
and
also
locate
takes
enemy
out
troops,
the
so they cannot take you
firing.
by surprise.
And that's not good because it's got a 37mm anti-tank Bofors and a 75mm anti-tank gun or field artillery piece. That is actually going to be pretty damn dangerous to our tanks. Remember, most of the time in the campaign, your units will be up against the exact same enemies, regardless of where
It's
those
not very
enemies
comfortable.
are. Unfortunately, both of our tanks
We will lead the way.
are kind of SOL at the moment. So I'm going to
Moving out.
go ahead and start to back up vehicles. This is just prepping for later, so to speak.
Reporting as ordered, sir.
We're gonna have to move the infantry back.
We are unstoppable.
We have our squads in here. So we're gonna kind of need artillery. There's not much that we can do against that without artillery.
We employ superior combat tactics.
And other than trying to take the airfield, there's not a whole lot that we can do there.
Our tanks are not heavy, but fast.
So we'll move
Keep
the
moving,
next
keep
tank
moving.
into position. It's a light panzer. It's not as heavy a panzer as I would like. Because of the entrenchment, we were able to protect the Panzer IV without an issue.
Our tanks are not heavy, but fast.
Need anything bombed to the ground?
I'm going to use my Panzer
We will
IV
rule
as
the
bait.
day. Let's make it our base.
Our aircraft can now use this airfield.
Now, there's no line of fire into here, so I'm just going to hope that I can get the unit destroyed.
Field tests of our newest Panzer IV tanks were successful, Field Marshal. This new model has proven to be a highly effective instrument of war.
Great news, Halder. It seems in the tank building industry, we are also ahead of all the other
Right,
European
good.
countries.
We've got our
That may
tank
prove
building
handy very soon.
one right there. And as you can see, we just completed that with destroying 3 units.
One day this war will end. Better not be soon.
Alright. Now I'm going to pack up the artillery.
Acknowledged. I didn't want to join the army. Pick up the pace.
I need the bombers now. They're going to be for the next objective. So before I do anything else, I'm going to
Thick
use
armor
my
will help
tank
if one is thick
to
in
go
the
ahead and capture the main objective.
We have captured Barcelona, but
And
the
you'll notice
Spanish
that we get
government seems
3
to have
planes
escaped
now.
before the assault.
They should get used to fleeing their own capital. Hopefully they won't be so audacious as to start unpacking so soon.
So sadly, airborne
I'm sending
units can't
several
actually
units into your command.
capture
The people of Germany have invested a lot of
like
time
ground
and effort
units,
into forming these
which,
units.
I mean, it does
Now
make
it's time
sense,
to evaluate
but
the
at the
result.
same time,
Let me know how well
it's a
they
bit
perform in
disappointing.
real combat.
Since I already
A few
scouted
months ago, the
down
Republicans took
here,
the city of Tyrol.
I
That's
noticed
our
that,
gateway to
or I know
Valencia,
that there's
and their government
only
must be hiding there.
relatively
So, it is
weak
about
units,
time
so we're
Tyrol
gonna
fell back
bomb
into
them
our
with the
hands.
bombers to complete that secondary objective for the achievement. And I should be able to do that.
It's about to get loud down there.
I should be able to take them all out with 1 die bomber.
Direct hit confirmed.
Tactical bombers are flying artillery and a great tool for wreaking havoc on any
All
enemy
right, now
troops,
you notice
while we
that
have to be
the
careful of
units were
anti-aircraft
wiped
units,
out.
Overwatch and fire support. It is better to scout the enemy
So
positions
I'll go
before sending
ahead
the bombers.
and
Do
bring
not leave your
in
tactical
the
bombers without
armored
protection.
car.
Remember, they are a prime target for enemy fighter planes.
And then I just got to remember where that secondary point is. And I really want to say that secondary point is down. I really want to say it's down there, but I could be very much mistaken. So I've got 1 bomber that can't move.
Armored troops at your disposal. We will outmaneuver them. Panzers are the cutting edge of Wehrmacht.
I can get within that distance and strike. Artillery is still in transport. Where's my other bomber?
All is quiet, but not for long.
In Guderian, we trust.
It's a little bit hard to highlight air units, so it's almost better to just highlight them from the bottom like this. And you want to pick the area that you need to bomb. Ideally, your bombers will already be within range, but they're not. So you're going to want this secondary airfield as soon as possible.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Also remember that airborne units must remain within range of an airfield or they can run out of fuel. And if they run out of fuel, they will simply just crash to the ground. So it's a little bit of an annoying mechanic, but it does make sense.
Keep your fighters close to allied aircraft you want to protect, and they will provide fire support.
We'll also be
Fighters
getting
are able to
into
attack ground targets,
anti-aircraft.
although with low efficiency. They can use the Overwatch breakthrough skill to counter enemy anti-aircraft fire and clear the way for tactical bombers.
So I'm just going to bring our units over here and then see what else we're working with. I have one field artillery that I can use, but it does not look like it's needed right here.
It's not very comfortable here. Can you see
I wish I could move, but that unit has no fuel. Unfortunate.
The hammer of the
So we
right.
don't need the artillery support there, but we will end up needing artillery support down here. So I'm going to move this second howitzer.
Acknowledged.
I wish I could acquire another howitzer, but I don't have that luxury.
We'll treat this with absolute discretion.
How far can I move this? I'll risk it.
Enemy spotted.
Alright, maybe they have an artillery piece? Not 100%
we
sure.
employ superior combat tactics? We don't need roads.
Should be within firing range.
Stop. Aim. Fire.
I knew there was artillery somewhere.
Time to open up a bottle of schnapps.
Alright. My bomber has no fuel.
We will lead the way.
No fuel, no fuel. You can see which vehicles have fuel
We'll treat this with absolute
and which
discretion.
ones don't have fuel fairly easily. So this one has fuel up here. The bombers are about to strike. I have no idea what's in this town, so I'm going to go ahead and scout
Your
this
eyes peeled,
town.
everyone.
This is simply just going to be for prestige. There's actually nothing in the town,
Target is ours.
which is nice.
You have captured an enemy supply point intact. It can now be used to supply your troops.
So that's just, you know, a little prestige supply point. Nothing too crazy. Artillery, everybody else is either out of fuel or
Our tanks are not heavy,
not
but
in a
fast.
position. We'll go and make
Speed
it
is our
harder
forte.
to be hit.
We'll move quietly.
Alright, we're gonna stay in entrenched there and end this turn. Alright, now the next most important thing is gonna be to get these bomber kills.
Tactical bomber reporting.
And it should be the guns are right here, I believe.
Dropping the payload. We'll be passing over that quadrant.
Darn it. It does not look like the bombers were successful.
Fly like the wind. I got you now.
Unfortunate.
Adjusting the target quadrant.
Really thought that I would get him with one bomb.
Bomb bay full of presents.
We are almost out of fuel, too. I have no choice. I have to take that airfield.
Bring the hammer down.
Always ready.
Dang. They still didn't get it?
Recon company standing by. Moving out.
It's a little difficult to get this done with the limited turn count. Hey, mountain biker, what's up, dude? This is the new strategic mind game, Fight for Dominance.
Coordinates and watch the fireworks.
Let's bring the artillery up again. I don't want to move it too close.
Already there. Almost.
And I don't have enough points for another scout unit. I received a review copy for this game, so we're trying to go ahead and get it done with our second try. I tried yesterday and we failed miserably at it. I'll be spending one more turn with that Panzer to take that. The issue currently is I simply don't have enough planes for the secondary task, which must be accomplished. I can't shell both targets. So what I'm gonna do is actually shell.
Moving out.
We'll take the point.
We need to get our scout in position. But I do know that they have artillery though. It's an interesting game, but it doesn't tell you anywhere near enough to try to figure it out. So this is, like I said, my second attempt. I need to take this dang airfield by next turn at the latest.
We will save the world from chaos.
Possibly
We have attained our objective,
I can
sir.
use my infantry to take the train yard. That should reveal the enemy. Aha! There they are, the little devils. Okay.
Infantry is the Army's core.
That's not a good gamble. Infantry with a 37mm bow force. I mean, the anti-tank gun isn't that much of a threat. But I'd prefer to have artillery support. So I'll save that for the next turn.
We employ superior combat tactics. We don't need roads. Blast those bastards!
Alright, now we know what we're facing here. They do have a 37mm bow force, so that's going to be a bit of a threat to the Panzer III because of the light armor on the Panzer III.
Reconnaissance company reporting.
Doesn't look like there's any enemies currently there in the main city, but there is an artillery piece down there.
We will rule the day.
So what I'll try to do is this little move. Oh, never mind. The artillery moved last turn. 40mm bow force, anti-air, 37mm bow force, anti-tank with infantry support.
We will rule the day.
That is an unfortunate encampment right there. I done walked into a bit of a trap, if I don't say so myself.
Ready to depart.
I'm gonna have to burn a turn. There's just no way around it.
If anyone asks, this unit does not exist.
This vehicle has too light of an armor.
Squads on the move.
And all of my vehicles are now out of fuel. Alright. Okay. Well, first things first, let's get these planes, get their kills done.
Ready to make some craters. Ready to make some craters.
Come on. There's no way that
Hate to be the cleanup detail for
bomber...
that one.
Alright. I like it. Infantry,
Reporting as ordered, sir.
go ahead and
Our
just
fatherland grows.
take the
All
town.
city forest and mountain terrain offer much better protection from enemy attacks. Right-click an empty hexagon to learn more about its terrain.
All is quiet, but not for long.
And hopefully we can bomb
Bombs
those
away,
infantry
bombs
into
away.
oblivion.
Target.
Both our new planes and their pilots
Nice.
have demonstrated
Alright, so the
themselves
plane's
in the
secondary
best
objective
possible
is
way.
now done.
I talked to the top pilots myself.
We'll grab
and my
our
staff has
recon
documented
vehicle
all
to
of
go
their
ahead and
impressions
actually
suggestions
secure the
for air
airport.
combat tactics and possible technical improvements.
And with the airport secured,
The German army has finally been returned to its
there
former
we go.
glory.
That's what I'm talking about.
Affirmative.
Now, does this town actually have an anti-air? Okay, the town does not have anti-air. Perfect. And is the howitzer still there? The 37mm bow force and the 40mm bow force are still
Heavy
there.
caliber.
So we can engage with our 105mm howitzer. It is entrenched, but we did risk receiving counter battery fire. It's not really a problem. I wasn't worried about the counter battery fire at all.
In Guderian, we trust. Establishing control.
An anti-tank unit has overwatched your troops. When your unit enters gun range of an enemy with active overwatch ability, it is automatically attacked. You can disable the enemy overwatch by attacking it. It is better to do a reconnaissance before sending in your armored forces.
We're the elite.
Alright, both planes need to land.
Armored troops at your disposal.
Alright, we've captured all of that. So everything's captured over there now. Our planes should
Weapons
be
bay
able to
almost empty.
land.
Anyone call for divine intervention?
We can't take off just yet. That's okay.
Lucky you on the ground. It's freezing up here.
And as long as it has move points left, we can bring the fighter back up into the sky this turn.
Commencing flyby attack. I have a good feeling about this.
Fighter runs, like fighter strafe, isn't really that useful against ground targets. But since I know that we're only facing anti-armor or anti-tank weapons, field artillery or infantry, I'm not really worried about them being able to shoot down the fighter. There is always that whole golden bullet rule, which basically states, you know, the possibility that an infantry shot could, in fact, shoot down
We are the guns of the Reich.
the plane, but I mean, the likelihood is so slim that that's going to happen. We are going to need to resupply down for the next objective, though. So I need to stay out of anti-tank
We're going.
range. But we're going to move our 105mm howitzers up.
No army can fight without infantry.
Fire from the sky.
Alright. I should be able to bomb the hell out of these guys, hopefully. No, the fighter's in the way. That's the problem. Okay.
What's today's mission?
We employ superior combat tactics.
I'll have to use my Panzer to take it.
We make victory our routine.
It's a bit of a risk, but
It is under our control.
The Republican resistance in Teriel is no more.
Finally, justice has been restored. The road to Valencia
All right,
is
here we
wide
go.
open. This is a momentous opportunity, Halder. The Frankos have been trying to reach that city for months. If we take it now, in a matter of days, we will once again demonstrate the superiority.
since I already
of the
have this
Veron.
city surrounded, that was the
I believe
plan.
this calls for reinforcement. I will give the appropriate orders.
But now we're going to be facing airborne units as well. Which means we're going to get another secondary objective really soon. So I can't move my Panzer at all. But I did gain another howitzer that can move.
Reporting.
And I gained infantry that can move. And the reason why this is so important is because I do believe I'm going to need to aid these units down here, if I remember correctly. So we're just going to go ahead and
Pick up the pace.
move the infantry out.
Where to, Commander?
And to cover the infantry,
Parting the
we'll move our
clouds.
bombers. It's risky. We've got fuel to move the howitzers in.
We've got big guns and we're not afraid to use them.
Dang, I have like hardly anything with fuel. Or, I mean, ammo actually right now. Wait, no, I do have another 100.
An anti-aircraft unit is a powerful and versatile weapon. Its main purpose is to protect your forces from enemy aircraft by overwatch, fire support, and direct attack
What
of
I'll
the enemy.
do
However, it can also effectively combat ground units.
is
Large
go ahead
caliber
and move
anti-aircraft
the
artillery is a good
anti-aircraft
weapon for destroying
to
enemy
take the
tanks.
rail station. We got another 105 howitzer
already?
here. So I'm going to go ahead and
We're
move
going,
that
we're
105 howitzer into position. And there is a method to my madness here. I don't think my Panzer IVs are all stuck. So we're going to go ahead and end our turn. Not good. But I kind of anticipated that.
Watch out for enemy planes. Don't let them get close.
That was weird. The game definitely does not need an update. So our anti-aircraft gun took that out.
The shell already.
We don't have enough shelling range for the artillery.
We are the guns of the Reich.
But what I can do is I can take out the anti-tank guns here, or I can take out the howitzers. I'm not going to do the howitzers, though.
Adjusting fire.
Alright, perfect. That's what we wanted right there.
Thick armor won't help if one is thick in the head. We shape their destiny.
Now, very important.
Keep moving. Keep moving.
We're going to move that to 2 squares out. We're going to move our artillery into the main town to capture it.
Our forces have taken Valencia, Field Marshal Goering. The city is under our control.
Your successes are dazzling, General. Now all that remains is to capture Madrid. The Republicans' morale is all but gone, so this scuffle will barely be worth calling a battle. Meanwhile, I have convinced our Italian allies to support you. Their units will arrive soon.
We have to go through this dialogue.
This
We
is
don't have any
Commander
choice.
Shane speaking. General Halder, you may have noticed the Republican tank divisions posted
Gonna
near
go
Madrid.
to our
I
infantry
have personally trained those
and
crews.
have our infantry
And let me
secure
assure
the
you, you'll
airfield
break
so
your
the
teeth
planes
if you
can
try to take a bite
resupply.
out of Madrid. How about you keep your distance, comrade? We're common soldiers. There's no cause for a quarrel between us. Let the top brass decide the Spanish capital's fate.
And we'll get another secondary objective very soon.
Top brass, Commander? Aren't you a volunteer, same as I am? Let's get to the point, though. You are not in a position to make demands. Madrid is completely surrounded, and your chances of winning are close.
We have to
nil.
wait this out to
So
get
how
our
about you
secondary
take your men
objective.
and retreat. As a fellow officer, I will personally ensure you aren't fired upon. A generous offer, General, but I'll have to turn it down. My orders are clear. Hold Madrid at all costs. You really don't want to know what they'll do to me back home if I disobey them. As you wish, Grivashane. You have a few days to contact your top brass and negotiate the Soviet contingent's orderly retreat. Otherwise, let us meet on the battlefield.
Alright, now you notice we have another fighter bomber here available for use, and infantry,
General, the Abwehr
and
has
we're
been
going to
keeping an
have
eye on
our
enemy
secondary
communications. A
objective
recent
now.
radiogram from Albacete
This should be
claims
one of
that
our
part the
last
garrison has
secondary
deserted the
objectives,
city
and all we
joined
have
the
to do is
Franklists.
help the
They are
rebels.
holding out at the city's railway station, but they are both outnumbered and outgunned. This is a great chance to both capture Albacete and gain new allies.
They've already deserted their posts once. What's stopping them from doing so again? These men are turncoats.
But you have to go through the
You're
dialogue.
right. This way we can take the city with minimal bloodshed. I will give the orders. We're advancing towards Albacete.
Alright. Now, once we have the secondary objective, you're going to have one of two things. Either help the rebels, rebels left 1, or rebels left 2. But regardless of whether it's 1 rebel or 2 rebels, you will have 2 enemy troops that you have to dispose of. So that's why it was very important to go ahead and move these units in ahead of time. And you'll notice there's a 75mm field gun and infantry in the town, with a separate 75mm entrenched field gun and infantry just to the left. So we have 2 field guns, and the problem with field guns is the fact that they are basically extremely good at annihilating anti or annihilating armor, I should say. So, because of that, I'm going to use my field artillery, my 105mm artillery, that is, actual artillery, to go ahead and bombard the small city.
Pursue them before they call in support.
Just to make sure that that's cleared of units. And I will be using my bombers to go ahead and bomb the exposed position.
Bombs away, bombs away. Hate to be the cleanup detail for that one.
For glory.
Now what I need to do
Ready to
is
roll.
attack from outside of
Triggered an overrun skill.
the
Every time
base
a unit with an overrun
range.
skill defeats an enemy unit, it gains the ability to move and attack again.
Already there.
I love the overrun skill.
Scatter them.
We have helped the turncoats in Albacete to take control of the city.
Your moral principles may prove an asset in this war, but I'm glad you could find a compromise.
Sadly, our scout
There are
vehicle still
allies you
can't
like
move.
and allies you need, but having both is a luxury. General, my agents report a large shipment of English machine guns has arrived from Madrid to Cuenca a few days ago. It seems the garrison commander has since been summarily executed for one reason or another, and the new commander hasn't seen fit to unpack the shipment yet.
Are you suggesting we pay them a visit? Why not? Our troops can always use more machine guns.
This is true. I can definitely use more machine guns. Thank you for informing me of that, game. Alright. I do have a fighter bomber
Ready to make
loaded.
some craters.
What can I go ahead and bomb? That's within range. And the airfield is within range, too. My scout has vehicle. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Alright, let's send the scout through the trees.
Enemy up ahead.
We've been detected. No idea. Have to recon that.
We'll treat this with absolute discretion.
For glory.
They're probably in
company standing by.
Overwatch.
Watch your step. Engaging the enemy.
Got a light armored vehicle. Alright, that town's clear.
For glory.
We'll go ahead and move our infantry
Step
into
by
that
step,
town
we
to
expand
secure
our
it.
Fatherland.
Fuel tank.
We have captured the enemy stockpile at Cuenca. Indeed, it was chock full of excellent Vickers machine guns. Thank you for the timely tip, Admiral.
Oh, why is it? The camera flip angle. I can't stand the fact that it does that. I don't know where shit is now. It did not good. Unfortunate. I hate the right stick flipping the map. Now everything's all upside down and I can't... Good God, why? This is the biggest thing that I hate with this, because I can't... Once the camera starts flipping around, I don't know where my shit is anymore.
In Guderian, we trust.
And then, like, it starts just being such a pain to locate your units because everything's all
All this
messed
quiet,
up.
but not for long.
We got our secondary objective, though. So now our primary objective should be simply to capture Madrid.
Starting bomb run. Payload delivered. We'll be passing over that quadrant.
The Hammer of the Reich! Acknowledged.
It's so weird that the right stick starts, flipping around the map, and then you can't, see accurately where your units are.
Can you see anything? We don't need roads. Fighter plane combat ready.
No units left immediately there. I'm gonna risk the fighter planes to get a little bit of a scout on this airfield. I can't scout and attack.
Adjusting the target quadrant.
What is it? Affirmative.
That vehicle's out.
Ever vigilant.
My 37mm flak. Let's move
Moving
that.
to meet the enemy.
Give us something to shell already.
And move the
Already
artillery.
there. Almost.
Every vehicle has used up its moves. Gonna have no choice but to end the turn. And they've sent out a tank unit. Looks like multiple tank units. This could be a little bit more difficult. All right. We don't have a secondary objective now. God, I really wish that this would stop flipping. It's infuriating. It's like the thing that I hate the most about this game is that it keeps flipping the map, and there's like no way to lock whether it flips the map or not. So like I can't get the camera battlefield view back to what it was. Which makes it so much more difficult.
Hopefully, no fighters today.
Alright, I can't even see my units because it zoomed out so damn far.
Ready for orders.
They're out of range.
Artillery reporting.
Dang, that's unfortunate. That's my fighter bomber. But what I can do is use
What
my
happened?
infantry.
Army happened. One day this war will end. Better not be soon.
It's like, I know
Artillery
I did
advancing.
receive a review copy of the game, but like I said at the start of this, that's not going to
We'll
change
get there in no time.
my opinion. I'm still going to give my honest opinion. And the battlefield map flipping around and like zooming in and zooming out without being able to be accurately controlled is absolutely infuriating.
Panzer Corps at the ready.
Because like now I don't even really know where I need to go. Up is down, down is up, left is right. Everything on the map is flipped completely around.
We cast the biggest shadows.
Can we start blasting already? Adjusting fire.
Wow, they survived that 105mm strike? Okay.
Out here, no one is my match.
Watch out, it's anti-aircraft overwatch fire. It is costly to attack the enemy positions protected by anti-aircraft units. Try making a preliminary attack on the enemy anti-aircraft units to disable their overwatch ability before sending any aircraft squadrons to engage them.
They are fleeing, not our problem anymore. Christmas is here, and I have a bomb bay full of presents.
Attacks on targets covered by enemy anti-aircraft units can cost you the loss of...
General, ceasefire! Ceasefire! I have contacted the Soviet High Command. My new orders are to retreat from Madrid. If your offer still stands... An officer's word is not easily broken, Commander. Go. I will make sure my troops hold their fire.
Ooh.
Thank you,
Do we get a new secondary
it is rare
objective?
to see such honor from your level of military leader.
I guess we do. Okay. Not what I was expecting.
One day this war will end. Better not be soon. Affirmative.
Anti-aircraft guns ready. Expect us at the coordinates.
Our tanks are not heavy, but fast. Ready to depart. Speed is our forte.
We'll take the point.
Where is this guy now? I could order him to attack, but...
Engaging the enemy.
it's risky to use the armored car.
Enemy positions have the fire support of anti-tank guns. They are shooting at your tanks.
Finish them off before they report us.
I need that airfield, dude. I'm gonna risk it. What do I have that has ammo left?
We're the elite. Squads on the move.
I don't think I have anything else
One day
close
this
enough.
war will end. Better not be soon. To battle.
Always ready. Step by step, we expand our fatherland. We are unstoppable. Marching on.
It'll have to be the next turn.
We'll take the point.
Man, if I just had one more
Ready to
shell.
roll. What is it? Oh, it's free real estate.
Yes! Yes, the airfield is under our control now. Alright, so the biggest threat right here is the 40mm Bofors cannon. which is in a anti-aircraft configuration. However, it could deal insane damage at close range, even to an armored vehicle, simply because of the caliber. But I don't know if my Panzer IVs can even get there in time. Thankfully, it looks like my Panzer IV can get there in time. Hopefully it's not overwatched. It's not. So we're going to go ahead and just blast that 40mm full force right out of the cannon. Just get rid of it. And we're going to try to hopefully take out the 37mm Bofors field gun, which we were successful in taking out the field gun.
No one can hide from us.
Standing by for orders.
My artillery is not within range.
We've got big guns and we're not afraid to use them.
I am within range of the city, so we're going to commence shelling with the 105s.
We've got. Target is toast.
Reporting as ordered, sir.
Does not look like there's anything else in there. Bombers should have enough fuel.
Fire from the sky.
Yep, the bombers do have enough fuel. I'm not seeing anti-aircraft guns, so we're just going to go ahead and bomb them back into the Stone Age.
The enemy is running. Great. Pressure normal. Advancing as ordered. Ready to make some craters. Bring the hammer down.
And we need to bomb that position so the field or not field artillery, but the field cannon can be eliminated.
Look at that crater. Gunners.
Your aircraft is running out of fuel. In order to refuel, the aircraft has to land in an airfield within a supply zone. Carrier-based aviation can use carriers as
That's all right. I think we're going to win this right now.
Another win for the intelligence. The Spanish capital is under our control, Field Marshal Goering. The government has surrendered, and their Francoists are already putting up their flags around the city. It seems the civil war is over.
What a glorious day, my friend Halder. Be sure, the Führer will be notified of your commanding prowess. My God, what an impressive victory. I'm sure Franco's troops were left in awe of the Wehrmacht's display of skill and might. The Führer
I may
is
have
pleased
screwed
with
up
you,
and not
Halder.
gotten my ribbon, though.
Return to Berlin at once. We expect your full report on the Army and vehicles' combat effectiveness now they have been tested in the field.
All right. I like it. We got a golden victory. So we finally managed to actually beat it. VP penalty due to losses of units. We did not get any penalty for that. The Spanish Cross plus 1 hard defense to HQ unit. All right. The only thing is, I don't know if it... Where's my secondary? Operation complete. Global bonus. We didn't have to repair any units. Killed 10 enemies. Captured 10 enemies. Got 400 from objectives. Flags. Completing secondary objective also yields you victory points. You can gain up to 100 victory points this way. Weird. Huh. I think I needed to get 400, so we might have to retry that at some time. Let's finish the operation and see if we unlock the corresponding achievements.
Herman, just look at this endless
Nice.
list of
Complete all
candidates for the new
secondary
Army Chief
objectives
of
in the
Staff.
Spanish Civil War. Let's
There's
go,
not one
boys. We got the
halfway decent
achievement.
person in it.
I know your resentment of the Army High Command is justified, Adolf. However, what you could do is call upon your most loyal officers and ask which one commands their respect.
The lip sync is still off on
Democratic
this
elections in
one.
the Wehrmacht. That is certainly something new.
As we say, one people, one Reich, one Führer. Yet it might be wise to discuss the assignment with the commanding officers, my Führer.
Who would you suggest as the best candidate for the Army Chief of Staff position?
In my opinion, it's Franz Halder. His operational actions in Madrid speak louder than words.
Franz Halder is the best candidate, my Führer. He is a brilliant strategist.
I think it should be Franz Halder. His military vision and talents can be of great service to our country.
I can recommend Halder, my Führer. Or myself.
You can go, Manstein. The majority sees as the Army Chief of Staff a man who is afraid of starting a war.
So what? All strategic decisions are yours only, Adolf. He is a loyal commander who is highly respected. You need but an instrument to carry out your will. If you assign Halder, you will win over the entire Army High Command.
Alright, so that functioned pretty much as the German campaign tutorial. Oh, by the way, Biker, do you want to play some DMZ? Oh, no problem, Biker. I just figured I'd ask. We have a hell of a lot of missions to do on this one. Holy moly. Looks like a lot of our units are, I guess, up for promotion. Why do I have, like, the level up modifier here, but I can't level them up? New models available. Okay. Alright, we can... I guess we can level them up like this. I like the role of forward observer. But there seems to be no way to confirm it. Very weird. No way to confirm it. Let's try the Panzer III. Seal the deal would be the way to do it. But it's not allowing me to level up these units, despite them looking like they can be leveled up. I only have 80. Okay. Sapper squad. Detect mines within spotting range of the unit. Sappers can be dispatched to demine. The unit does not receive damage from mines during movement. Interesting. Additional ammunition. The unit receives extra ammo. That's not really that good. I want the Sapper squad. What about my flak gun? Anti-air raider? Ooh. Definitely a good idea to have the anti-air radar. Sapper quad, additional ammo. Why is the Vickers better than the MG34? That is so dumb. The Vickers is actually not better than the MG34. Whatever. What about these guys? Ooh, desert operations. All right, all right. Increase fuel capacity. Let's go with Sapper Squad. +2 soft. I'll give it the mortar crew on the back. And again, we'll put on the Sapper squads. Now for the Panzers, what can we get? I would say probably scouting distance and Sapper squad. And the same thing. Alright, do we have anything under heroes yet? No. Upgrades. Panzer 2As can be upgraded to 3As. I don't have the ability to do the upgrading now. Can I buy more units, maybe? Oh, good golly, oh Molly, look at the units I can buy. Ooh, de lolly. We have, I can't scroll down. Why? Why, game? Why must you be like this and not let me scroll down? I want to see all of my units. Urgh, that's infuriating. Still can't level these guys up, though. I want swift attack. I guess they haven't actually unlocked the new level up. Okay. HQ. What do we got about the HQ? How many victory points do I have? I think I only have 375 victory points. Number of victory points gained during an operation determines the type of victory. You can spend them freely at the operation to learn new HQ skills. Prestige is a recourse for units' equipment. It can also be used to upgrade it and reinforcement of units. And command points to carry out tactical and strategic tasks. All right. It's reconnaissance. Why is it that you can't, like, scroll down to see all the darn skills? Okay, there we go. Man, there's some skills with a lot of victory points. Whoo-wee. Artillery being able to fire a second time, probably the best one. Activation cost 14 command points. Upon activation, artillery is capable of firing for a second time. Next level cost reduced by 48 command points. We're going to learn that one for our 100 victory points, which leaves us with 275. And we can have 38, I guess, per turn. 38 points per turn.
Did you know I was born here in Eastern Prussia?
The
Feels
modeling, though. Oh, okay, the character modeling needs work. Alright, so how do we select another campaign is the question. I guess we don't have a choice. It's automatically starting the next campaign. Next operation is the invasion of Poland. Invade Poland, occupy the majority of its territory in Warsaw. Type major land battle, and then we'll get naval support. Alright, well, I mean, looking at it, it's interesting. We did get this Spanish Cross achievement, which is complete all secondary objectives in the Spanish Civil War. So that one, surprisingly, we were able to do. I don't know if there's a second achievement, because pretty much they're all like... let me see if I can find it. They're basically complete all secondary objectives. And then, where's the other one? Gain enough promotion points. Like Hero of the Soviet Union. Gain enough promotion points. Order of the Red Banner. Gain enough promotion points. Which I assume we can gain just through playing. Because I don't see promotion points. I see victory points, prestige, and command points. Might be something with our units, possibly. Or potentially heroes. We could assign heroes, but... you know. We can't get it yet, because we just unlocked it. So to get this one, we have to deal 80 damage to tanks, anti-tanks, and recons. Deal 30 damage to tanks, anti-tanks, and recons. Okay. Easy enough. I think I am going to conclude it there because we just got started. So let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to save game to an empty slot. So at least we can manually save the game now.